Hi everybody, I'm Daphne Canales-Lees from Spartan Spark, and we're having a hangout for first-time users of Google Hangouts. And at the bottom you can see our film strip where we've got a few guests on the call or on the hangout, and they can ask questions or interact during the presentation. And we'll look at that in a second because it's one of the examples that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to pull up our PowerPoint here. Oh, the first part, or I guess we'll... Okay, so I'm sharing my screen with you. Okay, so Hangouts On Air is a tool that Google has developed to compete with all the different webinars that are out there. The great thing about Hangouts On Air is that it's free. You can have conversations with one person. You can have them live on the internet with thousands of people watching. But there's a maximum of 10 people in the film strip, which is the ladies that you see below, and 15 if you have a business account. So it's a great tool, and as they develop more stuff, they keep adding really neat things to control the presentation and different things you can do. So I'm going to show you the basics of what you need to start your first Hangout. So we're going to talk about how to set up your first Hangout, setting up your YouTube account, tips on how to share with a community, branding your Hangout page, navigating the green room, setting up your brand in the green room, inviting people to the green room, controlling the screen, and setting up your presentation. So let's get set up. So what you want to do is you need to link, or we've got 7 steps to set up the whole Hangout process. You need to link your YouTube account. You want to create some branding materials for the event that you're going to be promoting. You want to create a Hangout On Air event. That's what HOA means. You want to set a date, invite people, brand the page, your event page for the Hangout On Air, and then set up your PowerPoint. So setting up your YouTube account. So I'm showing Deborah's profile from Healing Heart Wellness, and when you look at the profile page, you can see the About, Posts, Photos, and Videos. You want to click on your own video page when... Oops, I'm moving my mouse around. You want to click on your own video page, and then you click on Upload New Videos. And this is for people who don't have an account at all. And if you're going to link an account, it'll take you through the steps as well. So that's going to take you to the YouTube page. On point number 3 there, I was logged in as Spartan Spark, and the computer remembers who you were logged in as last. So what you want to do is change that to the profile that you want to link. So in this case, I clicked on Healing Heart Wellness to create the channel. And then it'll ask me, do you want to create a channel, a new channel to link to Healing Heart Wellness? So Healing Heart Wellness being the Google Plus page. And then it tells you that your channels are linked. It just gives you like the disclaimer. You got to click OK. And there, a new YouTube channel was created for Healing Heart Wellness. So now that's linked, and you're ready to go on Google Hangouts. And you can brand this page as well. So the next thing you want to do is create branding materials, and this is optional. You don't have to. Google has its own set of images that you can use, but if you want to have more impact on your webinars, if you're doing talking about your business or selling something, you always want to have some kind of a call to action or just a brand for your business. So the sizes for the banner size are 1200 by 300 pixels, and you have to use those dimensions, otherwise it's going to look funny. I recommend, I actually did this one in PicMonkey.com. It's a free graphics program, and some of the things that they have you have to upgrade, but you can use the free version and create some really neat stuff, and you don't have to know any graphic design. You don't have to, it's all kind of ready to go. It's a really neat program. The other thing that you can brand is that little, where the play button is, the trailer image. And that one's 738 by 415, and again, I used it. I did it in PicMonkey, and this is just a screenshot of how it looks on the web. So I'm just going to show you that. so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is our Hangout event that we joined. So this is the page that gets created by Google. And here at the top is my banner and my trailer here before we were live. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create the event, the Hangout On Air event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my profile, which is right here. So this is just all the things that come up in my profile. And I'm going to change to Spartan Spark because that's how, or no, actually I'll keep it here. And what you do is you click on Hangouts on the sidebar. And I can send you this PowerPoint as well. I have it in a PowerPoint so that you can follow along when you're creating your own. So this is the Hangouts page. It looks a little bit different. Sometimes there's like advertising on top sometimes and different things. But the important thing is this blue button here, Start a Hangouts on Air. And actually this should actually say Start an Event page because you're not actually starting the Hangout on Air. And sometimes people get scared of clicking on this. Also, this is specifically Hangouts on Air means it's one of those live events that's going to stream on the internet. So you can have private Hangouts as well, but what we're learning is the live events. And you can see right now the internet or Google is showing our event, which is right here, that first one there. So you click on Start a Hangout and you're going to give your event a name. And then you want to give a little description that you can change later as well. And then if you start it immediately, so if you, what you can do is you can, there's a new feature in Google where you can test the Hangouts on Air. You don't have to invite anybody, and that's a new thing that they just came out with. Before you had to have some kind of audience, like a public audience, in order to have these. So that's a great tool. So you would use now to do a test. And what we're going to do is later, and then you can see the calendar here. So we can set it for any date in future. And it's showing me actually my calendar here so that I know I don't conflict with anything. The time is a drop-down menu, but you can also do like 7:32 or whatever time you want. And the duration is just a guideline. It gets posted, but your Hangout's not going to end if you go over 30 minutes. So this is the neat part, the audience part. Hangouts on Air are usually public, but like I said before, you can actually delete that now. It doesn't have to be public. You have to invite at least one person, so you can just invite yourself or your close friend. So usually they're public, so click on that. And another great thing about this audience section is that you can invite communities that you're in. So you can post your event to communities that you're in. So these are some of the communities that I'm in. And you can only do this at this step. It doesn't let you do it later. So this is an important thing to remember. You can also add emails. So it notices it's an email. The person's not a Google Plus user, so you can add those also. The thing with people who aren't Google Plus users is they can watch your event live on the internet. They just can't come into the green room unless they have a Gmail account. So you can still invite them, and this is the invite, and this is the setup for the event page. I'm just going to delete all these people because we're going to do a little test, and we don't want to invite everybody. And I'm just going to invite myself. So I click share when I'm all done. Oh, it wants me to verify my YouTube account. I don't have a YouTube account linked to this account. I forgot that that's why I wasn't going to do it. So I'm just going to do that again with my business account. So I have lots of accounts, and we can talk about that later. I have my business profile and I guess a company profile, and then I have a business profile for myself. So I'm going to go back to start Hangouts on Air. And I'm just going to call it Hangout Test this time. Invite myself again. And this time it'll work because I've already linked the account with my corporate page. So this is what it looks like. This is like a plain Hangouts on Air, and you can see, or sorry, Hangouts on Air event page, and you can see that there's no banner up top, and this is just your default logo, whatever you used as a picture. So edit event lets you edit your banner. Here's some banners that Google has. So you can use one of those, or you can load a banner of your choice. You click load and then upload to get into your computer. If your banner's not the right size, it'll give you an error. And again, this is just the information that you typed in before. You can edit the time and different things like that. I'm going to click save. The other place that you can brand is this trailer. So there's actually a couple things you can do with the trailer. You can have a video, so you can pre-record something and say, hey everybody, I'm super excited about this next event. Or you can just have a picture. So I click on trailer and you can enter a URL of a video, or look it up on YouTube, or upload a picture. And it's going to automatically load. This takes a second. So now when people click on that play button, they can see a picture. The other things you want to notice about this event page is the links here. So under details, there's a few links. And these are to share this event page. So this is the link that I sent you to invite you to the event, and you would have responded or just known that you have to come here. YouTube is where your broadcast is going to end up. So when the event goes live, it's going to be on YouTube under this link. And if you wanted to embed a video into your website or your blog, you would use this link. So this gives all the details of the event. You can write a message to viewers and invite more people here. And on this, you can do some of the settings. Guests can comment, invite other people. You can, again, edit the event here or duplicate an event. So if you've got something that you've done before, you can do it again. Here are some new tools that Google implemented recently. The Q&A, if you click on that, it gives you a little Q&A button in the corner. People can ask you questions in advance. This one is called the Showcase app, and you can have like links to your website, or again, if you're selling something, or this offer will only be available until the event starts, things like that. You can click on the Showcase app and link to something else, link to videos, websites. It's a brand new thing. And then this one is called the applause feature. It's kind of funny. It's on by default, so you probably want to turn it off. It gives you like a bunch of little bars at the bottom here, and people can like applaud certain sections of your presentation. I think it's more for like when bands are playing or something. It's kind of a funny little thing. Okay, so that's us setting up our branding. So we're just going to go back to our video isn't live yet. This is just the events page. When you're ready to start your video, you would click on the start button, and that takes you into the green room. You're actually still not starting your Hangout on Air. You're just going into the green room. So again, don't be afraid to click this start button. The blue buttons are safe. I'm going to share a different screen. Okay, so in the PowerPoint, I just go through all the steps of where to click, what to do to create your branded page, which is again optional. There's a tool called Hangout Toolbox that we want to use. You can see at the bottom of my page that my name is there and my logo, and this is Hangout Toolbox. And all you do is you go to hangouttoolbox.com and you click on Get It Now, and it links you to Hangout so that it loads it right in there. I tried loading it from the Google Apps, which I'll show you where they are. There's like extra apps you can download, but it didn't work well, so I recommend going right to the website. When you click that, it just links to your YouTube account. And then the next time you have a Hangout, it comes up in your green room. So now we're going to be talking about the green room. So I can't show you live examples of the green room because when I tried to screen share, it went into like this infinite loop, like when you're in front of two mirrors that like reflect each other. It was really funny, and you wouldn't have been able to see anything. So what we're going to talk about here is setting up your brand in the green room, inviting people to the green room, controlling the screen, and setting up your presentation. So when you enter the green room, like I said before, you click on this blue start button. And it actually doesn't start the Hangout on Air. You just go into the green room. So it should actually be called Enter the Green Room. The first thing that's going to pop up is it's going to ask you to invite guests. So you can invite guests right now. And like I said, they do have to have a Gmail account currently to get into what we call the film strip, which is the little images at the bottom. Or you can skip this step. So a lot of the times we skip this step to get ourselves set up in the green room before inviting other guests. So this is what the green room looks like. That big green arrow is showing you that that's the big button that starts the broadcast. So that's what makes your event live. So usually you're in the green room maybe like 15 minutes or half an hour before the event. I would suggest half an hour because what you want to do before starting a Hangouts on Air is restart your whole computer, close down all your programs so that your internet goes fast, so that all the systems are working. And for example, today I had to load my Hangouts window like 4 times before it would even open. So you just want to be prepared for all those funny things that seem to happen at the last minute. So that's the big green button that starts the broadcast. So we don't want to touch that until it's time to start the show. So we're going to talk about setting up your brand in the green room. We're going to click on the Hangout toolbox, enter some information, and load your logo. So the little toolbox, I just did like a zoom. I'm not sure. Let me see if you can see my mouse. Yes, okay. Oh, no, I can't move the mouse. Nope. I can't point with my mouse because the screen goes crazy, but the little thing that's surrounded by a red circle, that's what it looks like, and I just did a zoom in on the right of it. So you want to click on that. That's the Hangout toolbox that I told you to download earlier. And then it says number 2 there, and that's where you click if it's not open to that page. Right below there it says lower third, and what I did is I wrote Daphne Canales-Lees, and my tagline is business systems strategist. And then you can click on choose logo to add a logo, and then right beside lower third there's an off button. You just turn that on to turn that on. So let me show you what it looks like. Here I am, and it's these words at the bottom, so that's how you brand yourself when you're talking. Does everybody see that? Is there a lag?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you understand what I'm saying though? Yeah, the video is going okay. Okay, so that's branding yourself, and each of your presenters, so each one of you could download that app. So if you're having a guest speaker, you can tell them to download that app, and then every time they talk, their name pops up. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to invite guests to the green room. This one's really tricky. When I first started doing Hangouts, I was really lost. Okay, 2 ways to invite guests. So there's 2 buttons, the invite button and the Hangout URL. And then depending on people's settings, what you want to watch out for is some people's Google Plus settings are set to not send them an email. So you want to send them a Google Plus notification and an email to make sure that they get your invite. Oh, there goes my mouse again. Okay, so if you click on the top of your screen, there's a little guy with a plus. So this is once you're in the green room, the little guy with the plus beside him or her. It pops up this window and there's this link to share, so you can copy that link and send it in an email, which is what I did to invite you, or you can add people just as we did before by adding their names, adding circles of people. So this is a good place for when people have RSVP'd to your event. That doesn't mean that they're going to come inside the green room. It just means that they're thinking of attending, and when you RSVP, Google Plus sends you notifications saying it's on in an hour, or different things can happen, like it can load right into your Google Calendar if you use Google Calendar. So what we recommend is that you friend each of those people that have RSVP'd that they're coming, and you put them into a circle, and then when you're in this page here at this point, you can send them an invite right through that circle. So there's no other way in this particular system to have all those people compiled into a list. So there's other apps that you can load or things that you can buy, but in the free system, you have to do it manually. So you click invite on there once you've got everybody, or you send an email with that link. The other way is this link at the top of the page. So again, this is in the green room, and that link at the top of the page is to invite people into the green room. So this is different from the link that was initially sent, which is the event page link. And you can only get this link when you go into the green room. So I'm going to show you some control room icons now. So in the green room, we have a sidebar, and I just kind of zoomed into it here. So that's why it's showing up twice. So the little one is the one that you would actually see, and as you click on, or as you mouse over, you're going to get some little tips on what it's for, but I'll explain a little bit more. So that first one is a pencil with a mustache, and it's for drawing, so it's kind of just a fun tool. You can put like hats on people, and it's not really, maybe you could use it for a business presentation, but it's more just a fun thing. The second one is comments. So when you turn that on, the people inside your green room, they can talk to each other. So that's not the question and answer from outside. It's what's happening inside the green room. So I can say, hey, so Allie was controlling some of the volumes for me, so I can message her and say, Allie, can you turn off somebody's microphone? Without saying it, I can just type it. The third one is the screen share. So when I click that, that's when I can turn my PowerPoint on or go back to where I was, or to be viewed, or I can go into Google Plus to show you different things. The third one is the same that we saw outside. It's the Showcase app, and that one is to actually have links right in your Google Hangout that people can click on. The only thing about all these apps that are seen by the public is that they take up a lot of the screen, and sometimes, just depending on what you're trying to do, they're not super convenient. But if you want to send links, or if you have, for example, a really great way to use the Showcase app is you're selling something and it's only available during the live Hangout. So once the live Hangout is over, those links don't work anymore. So that's a great way to use that one. Q&A is the app that we can turn on before starting the event, and that's where people can ask questions. And those are people from the outside of the Hangout, so not the people in the green room. Anybody outside can ask questions. That little picture just takes screenshots if you just want to take a picture of what you're doing. The third one is I can't remember what that is. It's the one of the control rooms, just to see how your bandwidth is doing and things like that. The fourth, which is the gray one with the red, yellow, and green dot, that one is, it's called the control room, and that one can control people's video cameras on the film strip. So the film strip are the people at the bottom of the Hangout, and you can turn off their cameras, you can mute them, you can turn up their volume. So this one's a really great one if you're doing a Google Hangout and you have a partner that's controlling the control room for you while you're talking and doing the presentation. That little triangle, the yellow, green, and blue triangle, is a link to Google Docs. So if you're doing like some kind of team training, you can share Google Docs with the people that you're talking to. And finally, the last one is the Hangouts toolbox, which is how I branded myself, and it has several other features that you could spend like a whole Hangout on Air talking about. The three little dots at the bottom are to get more apps. So different developers have made apps, and you can see what people have made, and the ones that are approved by Google get shown there. Next is the top menu, and we talked about the little person with the plus before. That's to add more people. The second button is the mute, unmute button. The third one is your camera button, so you can turn off your camera. The fourth is bandwidth, so that's if your internet's really slow or something is happening, you can turn up the bandwidth or turn it down. And the fourth is the little cogwheel. It's the settings, different settings for your green room. And the last one is the Hangout button. So when you hang that up, your whole Hangout on Air turns off. We've got these little links in the corner, and those are the same links that we saw on the outside on the event page. So it's the event page link, and again the YouTube link where this video is going to be when it's done being live, and then an embed link. So next we're going to talk about controlling your screen. So by default, Hangouts will show the person who's talking. So when we were first joining the control room, everybody saying hello, hello. This, some of you in the green room noticed that the images were just really jumping all over the place. So what Hangouts does is that it knows who's talking, and it shows their face because it assumes that whoever's talking should have the stage. And it's a good assumption, but sometimes we want to pin somebody because we want to see them, but somebody else is talking. So I'm going to show an example right now. For example, if somebody was promoting a book, I might introduce the book and then pin the person in the film strip. So I've got Deborah. Are you ready to show a book?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So I'm coming out of the screen share. And so go ahead and talk, just tell us about or show us the magazine.
Okay, so the magazine is Womanition.
Okay, sorry, I'm pinned. I'm going to unpin myself. So when I'm pinned, I've got a white border around myself, and I'm just going to click on myself and unpin. So there's no white borders around anyone. So Deborah, go ahead.
Okay, so the magazine is Womanition, and it profiles women in Calgary.
As soon as Deborah talks, it shows her, and you can see that it jumps back to me when I'm talking. So I'm gonna pin you now, Deborah. So all I do is I click on Deborah in the film strip at the bottom, and now she's gonna show up no matter what. So I can keep talking, and Deborah can show her magazine. So go ahead and show that.
Okay, so here it is. It profiles women in business in Calgary, Edmonton, and Southern Alberta. And if you're interested in being in it, just let me know. Bernadette and I were both in it last year, and it's wonderful. They're also promoting a mentorship program, so if you're interested in that, just let me know. And so, yeah, and I think I gave you all a copy, and I'm on page 73. I wanted 69, but I didn't get it. So that's it.
Thank you. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but Deborah's volume was very low, and I was able to go in the control room and turn that up. Did anybody notice that the volume got better closer to the end? Great. Okay, so these things are working. Okay, so that's how you control your presentation, because before they had the pinning, you would just be talking, somebody would cough, and it would like bounce around, and it was kind of funny. Okay, so next we're going to talk about how to set up your PowerPoint so that it works properly. When I first started using the Hangouts, I had my PowerPoint, and there's a video on the internet, and it's like this big, and the screen is like that big. So I didn't really know how to manage the way PowerPoints worked on Google Hangouts. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Okay, so I'm going to share with you two ways to do it. So one is in PowerPoint, and the other one's in Google Drive. And I tried to do it on Mac's Keynote, but it doesn't. You're not able to have your presentation in a single window. So I wouldn't recommend using Keynote. And there's different ways around that if you are a Mac user. So in PowerPoint, I'm just going to go right to the example. What you want to do is open a new window. So first of all, you click on Slideshow, and then you click Set Up Slideshow. And then the third thing you do is you change it from Presented by a Speaker, which is full screen, to Browsed by an Individual, which makes it a window. So what happens is your PowerPoint pops out of its normal state and comes into its own individual window, so that when you're screen sharing, you can share that whole window. So once you're done with those settings, you click Slideshow from the beginning, and it goes into like the PowerPoint mode. In Google Drive, what you want to do is you click on Present on the right-hand side, and then Present in New Window. So that's all you have to do to get that to pop out. And then if you are using Keynote or some other program, what you can do is you can export to a PDF. The only problem with the PDF is that if you're using transitions or those neat PowerPoint tricks, then that's not going to work for you. PDF is just like a document reader. And I'm actually going to show the PDF version so you can see. So let me just pull that up. With the PDF, you want to be careful that you do a full screen share, because if you don't, then you'll get that tiny little window again. So I'm just going to change the screen share. Okay, so here's a screen share of my PDF viewer, and I've got 4 slides on a page. You can see the thumbnail and everything, so you don't want people to see that. So what you want to do is you want to do full screen, view file in read mode, or full screen. And then that shows the full screen. The reason I have 4 is just because that's the way I set up this PDF. But you would just see 1 slide when you have your slide set up normally. So you don't want to forget to do that full screen. And just to get out of the full screen, you click Escape, and it goes back to your normal PowerPoint. So that's it. I've covered everything you need to know to start a Hangout on Air. Does anybody have any questions?
That was really interesting.
I have a question.
Yes.
How easy, like you've been flipping back from your screen to show us other screens and then back to you, how easy is that? Like that seems complicated.
No, it's just there's that little icon on the side, the green screen with an arrow, and I just click on that, and it brings up a screen where I can see all the windows that I have open. So what I do before the Hangout is I have all the windows open. So I have my PowerPoint in its own window. if I want I have my Google Hangout, or sorry, the Google Plus page in its own window. So I have all those windows ready because I know what I'm going to talk about in the presentation.
Okay.
And as you saw, I didn't have the PDF viewer, the Adobe PDF viewer available, so I just opened it and then clicked on screen share.
Okay.
So
Great.
it's like a 1-second click.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
PDF file or the PowerPoint file with us?
Sorry, Ellie, can you say that again?
You're going to share this PowerPoint with us, though, so we can follow it when we do it?
Yes, I have a PowerPoint and a checklist, too, of the different things you want to think about when you're
Perfect.
starting to hang out.
Thank you.
I think Christine was is watching from the outside. Christine, if you have any questions, you can add them to the comments under the video. Okay, I think there's a question here. Christine just said, you look so nice. Can anyone see me when the video started? But she's not in the green room, so no, we couldn't see you for people watching from the outside. So I think that's it, and it's 1 o'clock, and our time is up. So yay, we did it. Our first GIA Club Hangout on Air.
That was great.
Good job.
Thanks, ladies. I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, it was fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Leanne, are you in the green room? I didn't notice that you guys were down there. You don't have a microphone. You can see me.